The search for the best continues. Tagi sa Nanggaling Part 2 is now accepting audition entries. Kung ikaw ay 21 to 59 years old at may angking galing sa pagkanta, mapa-solo, duet, trio o banda man, magpadala na ng audition entry. Narito ang mga guidelines. Para makapagpasa ng entry sa singing category, contact Nikki sa 0977-651-9504. Ito na ang pagkakataon mo para maging tagisan ng galing grand winner at manalo ng 2 million pesos. Para sa karagdagang impormasyon, i-like ang Tagisan ng Galing Facebook page. Kaya sali na!
Malalayong lugar ang kanilang narating para maghanap buhay. Tulungan ang pamilyang iniwan sa sariling bayan. Yan ang ating mga overseas Filipino worker. Pero dahil sa di pangkaraniwang pangyayaring hatid ay krisis, may ilan sa kanilang nagpasyang umuwi. Pinagyaman ang sariling lupain, nagtayo ng negosyo na kasama sa puhunan ang sipag at tiyaga. Ang mga OFW, maraming sakripisyo, ninanais maging kapaki-pakinabang maging sa kanilang pagbabalik bansa. Sapagkat ang ating mga bagong bayani, Pilipino pa rin sa puso at damdamin.
And welcome. You are watching Eagle News America. I'm Anna Cui, coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada. It is Sunday, November 29, 2020. Tonight we have updates from several of our correspondents across North America. Our Bureau Chief, Thomas Likeness in Edmonton, Alberta.
Enthusiasm for immediate COVID immunization seems to be waning in Canada.
Our Bureau Chief, Philip Toledo in Atlanta, Georgia.
Georgia Governor Brian Kemp promotes 4 things for fall.
Bureau Chief Myla Simbulan in Swarthmore, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania Department of Testing and Contact Tracing emphasizes the need to prioritize case investigations and for those who tested positive to COVID-19 to participate in contact tracing.
Valerie Gonzalez in Burbank, California.
Safer-at-home order takes effect in Los Angeles, restricting gatherings with people not in the same domicile.
In Las Vegas, Lori Jarvina.
Las Vegas remembers Tony Hsieh, former chief executive of Zappos.
Eliza Gonzalez Manglikmut in Washington.
Shop in the district virtual shopping resource to help underserved, minority, and women-owned businesses in D.C.
Bureau Chief Ace Ramirez in Gaithersburg, Maryland.
Maryland governor promotes Small Business Saturday, urging Marylanders to safely celebrate.
Bureau Chief Jane Kathleen Gregorio in Corpus Christi, Texas.
A Corpus Christi local pet bird store soars through the COVID-19 storm and even celebrates its new and improved nesting grounds with a ribbon cutting.
Plus, for tonight's virtual roundtable discussion, why supporting small businesses during the pandemic is crucial. First, an overview of today's COVID-19 numbers. According to the Coronavirus Resource Center of Johns Hopkins University in Medicine, as of 6 p.m. Eastern Time Sunday, November 29, 2020, the number of cases of COVID-19 reported worldwide is now more than 62,515,000. Top 3 on the list of countries with recorded cases, with U.S. as number 1 with 13.2 million, followed by India with 9.3 million and Brazil with 6.2 million. More than 1,456,000 lives worldwide have succumbed to this virus. Top 3 countries with the most number of COVID-19 related deaths are U.S. at number 1 with more than 266,000, followed by Brazil with more than 172,000, and India with more than 136,000. The Umrakuba refugee camp in eastern Sudan once housed Ethiopians fleeing famine, but now life has flooded back into the isolated camp as refugees seek safe haven from the Tigray conflict. Camp Director Abdel Basset Abdelghani said a month ago, this was just a piece of desert, but now it's turned back into a town. The sound of hammering and digging rings out as people build temporary huts, while elsewhere children take lessons in makeshift classrooms.
It's the first 5 of the classrooms on another site in the camp. We have another 5. There'll be 2 shifts of about 40 students each. So in this initial phase, we'll just help 800 people.
Young people kick a football around in the dust while others line up to refill containers of water. According to the UN Refugee Agency, UNHCR, more than 44,000 refugees have crossed into Sudan since fighting broke out in Ethiopia's northern Tigray region on November 4. The rapidly growing Umrakuba refugee camp, located some 50 miles from the border, once housed refugees who fled Ethiopia's 1983 to 1985 famine that killed more than 1 million people. It was closed 20 years ago, but reopened for a second time earlier this month. Authorities have assigned some families 200 square meter or over 2,100 square feet area and have provided them with rudimentary materials and tools to make the wicker shelters. Others, less inclined to build the structures themselves or who are convinced their stay will be brief, have opted for white tents distributed by UNHCR. Umrakuba is Sudan's only official refugee settlement. Other camps near the border are transit centers where new arrivals are registered before being directed towards Umrakuba. According to the UN Refugee Agency, the camp now houses almost 9,700 people.
العدد فوق ل 9,000 من اللاجئين. كمية الموية في المعسكر يعني قد تكون إنه يعني نحتاج لأكثر من الكمية يعني قليلة ونحتاج للأدوات الصحية.
Ghani said some 2,100 huts have been set up since the settlement was reopened this month. Toilets have been put in place across the camp, and UN Children's Agency UNICEF has installed water tanks. Abdelghani said, luckily, the region has a lot of underground water, even though the infrastructure is poor. He said the camp can accommodate 20,000 people, but the number of arrivals is constantly going up. An additional 3,000 huts are planned to fill the gap in demand, he added. In related news, during a visit to a camp, the UN Refugee Agency chief said Saturday Sudan needs $150 million in aid to cope with the flood of Ethiopian refugees crossing its border from conflict-stricken Tigray. The Tigray conflict broke out on November 4 between Ethiopia's federal forces and leaders of the region's ruling party. Sudan has since hosted more than 43,000 Ethiopian refugees fleeing from the intense fighting into one of its most impoverished regions.
People per day. This is what we got in the last few days. 500-600 refugees coming into the country per day. In rich countries, this would bring governments down. And here, the government of Sudan has kept the border open in the best tradition of African and Sudanese. UNHCR and the UN and humanitarian community needs about $150 million for the next 6 months to help the government of Sudan manage this refugee crisis.
Grandi called on donors to provide Sudan with these resources as soon as they can. Between 500 and 600 refugees are still crossing the border each day. Sudan has sought to provide help to accommodate the mass refugee influx as it struggles with its own deep economic crisis. The country is also going through a fragile transition since the April 2019 ouster of veteran strongman Omar al-Bashir after unprecedented mass protests against his rule triggered by economic hardship. Some 65% of Sudan's nearly 42 million people live below the poverty line, according to government figures. As the Tigray fighting rages, Grandi also voiced concern over the fate of tens of thousands of Eritrean refugees living in Ethiopia for decades.
We are worried about the situation in Tigray, very worried. I want to join the Secretary General of the UN, the African Union, and all those that have called for mediation to result very quickly in the end of this conflict and in the restoration of peace. And I am specifically worried as UN High Commissioner for Refugees about the situation of almost 100,000 Eritrean refugees that have been hosted in Tigray, in Ethiopia.
When we come back, we'll have more updates from our correspondents. This is Eagle News America. I'm Anna Cui. Stay with us.
Hello there. Imagine Dami got the virus, and she infected 2 more. And those 2 infected a lot more of people. And it goes on and on until it became an epidemic. But what if Dami stayed at home? Then those 2 wouldn't have contracted the virus. Then those people would have not been infected. This is not just your battle, it's everyone's, and you can be a huge help. Follow social distancing, or better yet, stay at home.
We know that this is a scary time for all of us.
The coronavirus is changing the world.
Changing our lives.
So please, take care of yourself.
Keep your distance.
Wash your hands.
And if you can, stay at home.
We at DW
are here for you.
We are working tirelessly to keep you informed on all of our platforms.
We're all in this together.
And together,
we'll make it through.
Stay safe, everybody.
Stay safe.
Stay safe.
Stay safe.
Please, stay safe.
Innovation, digital disruption, globalization. Startups, micro, small, and medium enterprises, as well as large corporations, all face interesting challenges in the market today. Peek into the world of exciting opportunities and partnerships to drive growth with the latest business news and information. We are open for business. Join the conversations to create a more vibrant environment for entrepreneurship. Catch Open for Business every Saturday from 5 to 6 p.m. Open for Business, from vision to action.
The feeling of urgency for COVID immunization appears to be waning in Canada. Bureau Chief Thomas Likeness tells us why. Thomas?
Thank you, Anna. Well, first of all, let me set the stage. We ended last week in Canada with this optimistic statement from Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
On the horizon, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. But we need to do what we can right now to make it through these coming months.
I really like that. Light at the end of the tunnel. And there was even more good news as a beaming Prime Minister made this prediction.
According to plan, we should be able to have the majority of Canadians vaccinated by next September.
This is what we've all been waiting for, isn't it? There's 3 strong vaccine candidates waiting for approval. We're told there'll probably be priority vaccination early in the new year. Demand should go through the roof as 2021 progresses. And we'd expect to see people lined up like customers trying to get that door crasher special on Black Friday. Huh? Think so? Not so fast. It seems like a growing number of people are having second thoughts. The polling company Ipsos did some research about this. About 10 days ago, the company asked about 1,000 Canadians in an online poll how they felt about a COVID-19 vaccine. Now, here are some of the findings. Just over half, 52%, say they would probably get the shot as soon as possible. But 71% say they're nervous. They have concerns about taking a vaccine that was developed and approved so quickly. And about the same number worry about the long-term side effects. Many people indicated they'll wait. They'll wait to be immunized until they're sure the vaccine is effective and safe. 13% said under no circumstances would they get vaccinated. Now, what about making the shot mandatory? 59% say they support that. But get this, back in July, that same question asked, then 72% thought mandatory immunization was a good idea. So that's dropped off by about 13%. So even if the vaccine is the magic bullet, close to half the population in Canada is still not ready to pull the trigger on immediate immunization. So while we wait to see how many people will take the shot, I wish you all good health. Remember to take care of others and take care of yourselves. Stay home, stay safe, and stay tuned to Eagle News for accurate and balanced coverage of the COVID-19 pandemic and other current affairs. In Edmonton, Canada, Thomas Hsieh Likeness, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Anna.
Thank you, Thomas, for your report. Now, I heard you say, people are concerned about side effects from the vaccine. What other concerns do they have?
Well, there's a whole laundry list there. Like I said, they're waiting to see if there's adverse effects. They want assurances from public health officials that this is safe. They also want to make sure this vaccine is, it's effective. It really works. Some said they would only take it if it was recommended by their doctor. Others said, well, no, I'm going to wait for my family and friends. If they get the shot, then I guess I'll get it. And, of course, money an issue. Some saying the only way they would take it is if it was covered by their provincial health care plan.
Yes. Yeah, a lot of things still to be ironed out, right, Thomas? Well, thank you so much for your report. It's a pleasure to have you on tonight.
And you stay safe, Anna.
You too. The Pennsylvania Department of Testing and Contact Tracing underscores the need to prioritize case investigation. In Swarthmore, Bureau Chief Myla Simbulan joins us this evening. Myla?
Thanks, Anna. Testing in Pennsylvania continues to increase. The state has been conducting both PCR and antigen tests to identify COVID-19. Over the past 2 days, there were about 111,800 PCR tests and about 13,600 antigen tests. In total, Pennsylvania has conducted nearly 5,500,000 tests, which equates to nearly half the state's population. Here's Director of Testing and Contact Tracing, Michael Huff, to tell us more. Take a look.
The increase in testing demonstrates the increased need for case investigation and contact tracing. These are two key public activities that occur when a case of COVID-19 is identified. Given the continued concern in both the number of positive cases and the positivity percentage rate, the recommendations prioritization of COVID-19 case investigation and contact tracing have been enhanced. For example, in the last 7 days, there were 34,719 cases reported. 23% of these positive cases had investigations begun within 24 hours of reporting. An additional 7% had investigations begun 24 to 48 hours of reporting. Of those, only 25%, about 8,332, of newly reported cases were successfully contacted by an investigator. And 96 of these contacts refused quarantine. Why? Because people don't want to answer the phone. Because people do not realize how important it is to give the information that we need to make certain that we can control disease.
Huff also outlined key case investigation prioritization recommendations from the CDC that are meant to enhance efforts already initiated by the Department of Health. This include prioritized case investigation interviews for people diagnosed with COVID-19 in the past 6 days, based on specimen collection date or symptom onset, if it's known. Prioritize contact tracing efforts on household contacts exposed in past 6 days, and people living, working, or visiting congregate living facilities, high-density workplaces, or other settings or events with potential extensive transmission. As resources allow, expand case investigation and contact tracing to people outside the household who are at increased risk for serious illness, are part of a cluster, or were exposed within the past 6 days. If more than 14 days have elapsed since the specimen was collected, case investigation should generally not be pursued. Case investigation and contact tracing remain essential components of the COVID-19 response and are a key strategy to interrupt disease transmission and reduce the spread of the virus in a community. With more than 34,000 positive cases reported in the past 7 days, contact tracing has become even more critical to identifying those who may have been exposed to the virus by someone who has tested positive. Pennsylvanians are also reminded to download the free COVID Alert PA app, which is an important tool to join the fight against COVID-19. To date, there have been more than 560,000 downloads and more than 42,000 daily check-ins on average. In Swarthmore, Pennsylvania, Myla Simbula and Eagle News, we live in interesting times. Back to you, Anna.
Thank you, Myla. So what's the downside of not opening a case investigation or contact tracing if someone tested positive to COVID-19?
So, Anna, if more than 14 days has elapsed since the specimen was collected, there's no point of conducting case investigation. Within 14 days, the individual has potential to recover from the disease. The challenge is, for those 14 days, without knowing that the case exists, there is a potential that the virus will spread to other cases, and there will be no trace of or who came in contact with that person who initially has the disease. Anna?
Well, thank you, Myla, for your report. It's a pleasure to have you on tonight.
Thank you.
When we come back, updates from our Eagle News correspondents in Atlanta, Georgia, Burbank, California, and Las Vegas, Nevada. This is Eagle News America. Stay with us.
It says the best defense is still containment.
We are in uncharted territory.
Silent volume 450. FI on to 100%. Standing by. Suctioning.
Events happen around us all the time, in our community, in our country, around the world. Events that affect people, move communities, or simply inspire us. Interesting events that people need to know. In these interesting times, we continue to be a competent partner in delivering news about these events. Fast, accurate, balanced, eagle news, because we live in interesting times.
Hey there, Arnie Aquino here at Hatley Castle, one of the filming locations for the X-Men series. Don't forget to tune in to Digital Nest only on Net25.
Hindi mo ba alam, mauubos daw ang mga tissue products? Bakit naman? Ang raw materials daw ng mask at tissue products ay iisa lang. Saan naman galing ang balitang yan? Ay basta, narinig ko lang din. Maraming diling kayang nagpo-post sa Facebook at Twitter, kaya kung ako sa'yo, kumuha ka na din. Sige na't mauna na ako sa'yo
Huwag basta-basta magpaniwala
sa mga nakikita
o nababasa sa social media.
Magsaliksik at i-verify ang lahat ng impormasyon
na kukuha sa internet.
Tandaan,
maging responsable tayo
sa paggamit ng social media
nang hindi magdulot ng panic sa iba.
Kung paanong dapat labanan ng COVID-19
ay gayon din ang ating pagsugpo
sa black propaganda
at maling impormasyon.
Dennis Lu,
Lou Amelda,
Vivian Alpartosa,
Tyranel Pililu,
Hannibal Arevalo,
EBC,
Japan, Euro. We live in interesting times.
This is Eagle News America. I'm Anna Cui in Las Vegas. Governor Brian Kemp of Georgia State promotes 4 things for fall to help mitigate further spread of COVID-19. In Atlanta, Bureau Chief Philip Toledo reports. Philip?
Thanks, Anna. So we finally made it through Thanksgiving weekend here in Georgia. But with the concern of the spread of COVID-19 combined with many planning to spend time outside of their homes, the governor here, Brian Kemp, urged all Georgians to remember and follow his 4 things for fall ahead of this past weekend. Those 4 things are: 1, wear a mask; 2, practice social distancing, which may have been difficult for those trying to gather; 3, wash your hands regularly; and 4, follow the guidance of public health officials, which typically would include the first 3 things of the 4 things for fall. Now, this governor's reminder is a familiar one. These same 4 things have been a constant throughout the last several months, as they remain some of the easiest and most effective personal actions a person can take to help mitigate some of the risk of spreading the virus. Now, when it comes to the state of Georgia, as of the end of this past holiday weekend, the total case count here in the state now stands at over 420,000. Looking at the past data or the trends over prior holiday weekends over the last several months, particularly during the summer, we saw a surge in cases afterwards. So it is a bit worrisome that going into this past holiday, we were already on an upward trend. Now, I know many people, at least in my own community or in my own circle, chose to stay in the last few days instead of traveling, whether it be to the other side of the state or even out of state, for a family gathering like they normally would. Now, conversely, on the other hand, just taking a drive through my neighborhood, you would see some houses that would have 1, 2, sometimes 3 out-of-state vehicles parked out front. And then when you go to social media, there were some people that, were posting just, photos of themselves and, the other people that they live with, but others were posting big groups, talking about their family time and acting as if, nothing was really different. Now, winter is approaching, and here in the North Georgia area, we're actually going to be having some cold weather coming through tomorrow night with temps expected to drop below freezing, the lowest temperatures since January. So that, just with winter in general, more people, even in the South, are going to be spending more time indoors, which, as we know, has the potential to further the spread of the virus. So following these 4 things for fall, and I'm sure will be the 4 things for winter, is going to be very important as we keep a close eye on the case count over the next couple of weeks. In Atlanta, Georgia, Philip Toledo, Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
Thank you, Philip, for your report. Now, you mentioned, you notice on social media people posting gatherings over the Thanksgiving holiday. What about Black Friday? How was it there for you?
That's a good question, Anna, because as you know, Black Friday is, from a retail or a spending perspective, one of the most highly anticipated weekends of the entire year, where traditionally many people, they go out, they hit the stores. And over the past couple of years, there's been, a shift towards more of the online shopping. So this past weekend, we actually went out. We didn't really go shopping ourselves, but we were out just doing normal kind of everyday things. And where you might have expected to see, large crowds of people last year, I would say that it was steady, but definitely, not anything, there weren't, crowds of people knocking each other down for a $5 TV or anything like that. And speaking with some of the, I was able to speak with some of the workers at some of the stores, and they also kind of echoed those sentiments that, while they, were happy to have business, it was nothing like they had experienced over the past several years. So it was much quieter. A lot of more people, stayed at home, did their shopping online. And yeah, it was definitely quieter. Regardless of, what people were doing for the holiday itself, the shopping was definitely different from the past years.
You're absolutely right, Philip. Well, stick around for our roundtable discussion later about supporting local businesses.
Absolutely. Thank you, Anna.
Still in the battle against the COVID-19 infection surge, Los Angeles tightens pandemic restrictions with its safer at-home order of disallowing gathering of people who do not belong to the same household. In Burbank, Eagle News correspondent Valerie Gonzalez with a report.
Thank you, Anna. Safer at-home order takes effect this Monday in Los Angeles, restricting gatherings with people not in the same domicile. A temporary Los Angeles County Health Officer order has been issued effective November 30 through December 20, 2020. This action comes on the heels of consistently high rates of COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations in Los Angeles. This safer at-home order restricts any gatherings with people not belonging to the same domicile except for faith-based services and protests. Revised occupancy limits will also be implemented, which go beyond the customary face coverings and physical distancing requirements. These new instructions cap the number of customers for essential retail to 35% maximum occupancy, 20% cap for both non-essential retail and personal care services, 30% for libraries, and a 50% maximum occupancy for outdoor operations at museums, galleries, zoos, aquariums, botanical gardens, fitness centers, mini golf, batting cages, and go-kart racing. The following venues will remain open to Los Angeles residents, but any gatherings here must be limited to their own household. These include parks, trails, beaches, tennis courts, golf courses, skate parks, bike parks, archery ranges, pickleball, and community gardens. Angelinos can still go to drive-in movies and take part in car parades, but all those in their cars must be members of only one household. At this time, playgrounds and card rooms are to remain closed to the public. With these new restrictions in effect already tomorrow, officials at the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health are hoping the surging rates of positive cases and hospitalizations will decrease in the coming week. In Burbank, California, Valerie Gonzalez, Eagle News, we live in interesting times. Back to you, Anna.
Thank you, Valerie. I wonder how they're really going to monitor that, how people are following that restriction. But I'm wondering, what's the update on the COVID-19 numbers today there in Los Angeles?
Well, sadly, Anna, the COVID-19 statistics today are still alarming. The Los Angeles Public Health Department announces 5,014 additional positive cases and 16 new deaths. There are now a total of 395,843 positive cases and 7,639 deaths in the country. Hospitalizations are also increasing rapidly. Currently, there are 2,049 hospitalizations compared to the 1,951 yesterday and 1,893 the day before. We are also seeing an increase in signups for free COVID-19 testing throughout the city and county, with long lines of people wanting to get tested to find out if they have the virus to also keep their family safe. I myself included. Anna?
Well, that's good, Valerie. Continue to stay safe there, and thank you for your report and joining us tonight.
Thank you, Anna.
Las Vegas remembers Tony Hsieh, the former chief executive of Zappos, who died of injuries sustained from a house fire. Zappos is an online shoe and clothing retailer based in the city. Eagle News correspondent Lori Jarvina joins us tonight with the story. Lori?
Thank you, Anna. On Friday, Nevada Governor Steve Sisolak posted a tribute to the visionary and entrepreneur Tony Hsieh and condolences to his family, stating that Tony Hsieh played a pivotal role in helping transform downtown Las Vegas. According to reports, Tony Hsieh, the co-founder of Zappos online shoe company, died at age 46 in Connecticut. Last night, Hsieh was honored on the LED screens of Fremont Street Experience's Viva Vision video canopy, organized and hosted by the co-owner of the Circa Hotel in downtown Las Vegas. Hsieh's history with Las Vegas began in 2004, when he moved the Zappos headquarters from the Bay Area to Las Vegas in order to better build its customer service operations. In fact, he felt so strongly for customer service that he gave employees the latitude to ensure customer satisfaction to the best of their abilities. Then in 2009, he sold Zappos to Amazon for $1.2 billion and continued to run the company for over 21 years, only recently stepping down earlier this year in August. Tony Hsieh used some proceeds from the sale to spearhead the Downtown Project, amounting to $350 million in investments devoted to rebuild and rejuvenate downtown Las Vegas. Hsieh's project was focused on urban regeneration, building up the community culture with emphasis on improving the quality of life of downtown residents. His vision was a community with thriving businesses that mutually supported each other. Tony Hsieh was known for his generosity, sincere kindness, and relentless efforts to create a positive environment for his employees and the city as a whole. Downtown Las Vegas continues to move towards realizing Hsieh's vision. In Las Vegas, Nevada, Lori Jarvina, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Anna.
Thank you, Lori, for your report. Yes, absolutely, he will surely be missed here in Las Vegas. Now, what are your thoughts about downtown Las Vegas?
Well, since moving to Vegas, most of our time here has been under the restrictions of COVID. But when we have been able to get out and about a little bit, we can see there's a difference between the Strip and Las Vegas downtown. And, Tony Hsieh's vision to create a community for the locals of Las Vegas in the downtown area looks to be coming to a realization. So we look forward to that and being able to explore more and really be part of the community of Las Vegas.
Well, Lori, you have to check out the container park when it's safer to go out there. Thank you for your report tonight.
Thank you, Anna.
When we come back, updates from Washington, Gaithersburg, Maryland, and Corpus Christi, Texas, and a roundtable discussion about why supporting small businesses this time of the pandemic is crucial. This is Eagle News America. Stay with us.
The search for the best continues. Tagisan ng Galing Part 2 is now accepting audition entries. If you are 21 to 59 years old and have what it takes to be the next Tagisan ng Galing Grand Winner as a solo performer, duet, trio, band, or grouped act, submit your audition entries now. Just follow these guidelines. To submit audition entries for the singing category, contact. This is your chance to be Tagisan ng Galing's grand winner and win 2 million pesos. For more details and updates, visit and like the Tagisan ng Galing Facebook page. What are you waiting for? Join now!
In good shape. Isn't that how we'd all like to be? But how can you be truly fit? And how can you stay truly healthy right up into your golden years? And truly have fun while doing it.
In good shape.
Impormasyong mahalaga sa taong bayan. Patas na pagbabalita. Papakinggan ang magkabilang panig. Lilinawin ang mga issue at kaagad na ihahatid ng objektibo. Mata ng agila. Tumadagit ng pinakasariwang pangyayari, hindi lamang sa loob ng bansa, kundi sa iba't ibang panig ng daigdig. Mula sa Eagle News teams at sa tulong ng makabagong teknolohiya, tiyak na makakalap kaagad ang katotohanan. Para sa mas matalas, malinaw at malalimang pagbabalita. Ito ang mas pinatalas na mata ng agila. Inihahatid ng veteranong broadcast journalist na si Eli Saludar. Kasama si Binibining Pilipinas Intercontinental 2019 Emma Tiglao. At pinangungunahan ng batikang mamamahayag ng bansa, Vic De Leon Lima. Mata ng Agila, Lunes hanggang Biyernes, alas 6 hanggang alas 8 ng gabi, dito sa Net 25.
Tayong mga Filipino, likas na palabati. Sanay rin tayong makipagkamay. Pero dahil na rin sa COVID pandemic, isinusulong ang pagbati na hindi na kailangan pang makipagkamay. ang pambansang pagbati. Ito ay ang pagdampi ng kanang palad sa gitnang bahagi ng dibdib, kasabay ng bahagyang pagyukod ng ulo o paibabang tingin, at pagsambit ng mga salitang nagpapahayag ng pagbati, paggalang o pagpupugay. Pagkatapos nito ay ang pag-angat ng ulo ng nakangiti at nakatingin sa mata ng binabati. Pambansang pagbati, pagpapakita ng paggalang, kababaang loob at pagiging sensero nating mga Filipino.
Bilisan mo! Mag-alas 12 na! Hey guys! Alas 12 na! Tara na!
Excuse me, padaan! Alas 12 na!
Hello po! Apple Chew po ito, isa sa mga hosts ng Letters and Music at iniimbitahan po namin kayo na patuloy sumabaybay sa Letters and Music sa prime time. Magsisimula ang ating programa ng alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng gabi. Kaya samahan niyo kami sa gabi-gabing hugan at kasiyahan kasama ang inyong mga paboritong OPM artists dito lang po sa Letters and Music. That is from Monday to Friday, 8 to 9 p.m. Kaya join na at makipag-hashtag Soundtrip and Chill.
In an effort to promote small businesses, especially minority and women-owned, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser and other organizations partnered up in an online shopping initiative. In Washington, D.C., Eliza Gonzalez Manglip Mo joins us tonight. Eliza?
Thank you, Anna. That is correct. Mayor Muriel Bowser, the Office of the Deputy Mayor for Planning and Economic Development, or DMPED, and the Washington, D.C. Economic Partnership, or the WDCEP, announced the launch of Shop in the District. Now, what is this? This initiative is focused on promoting shopping safely at small local retailers throughout the district during the upcoming holiday season and beyond. It also combines the power of, number one, a digital platform, number two, a local delivery pilot, and three, technical assistance to support revenue generation for DC small businesses. Now, Anna, Mayor Bowser encourages residents of the district to support the small business community during these trying times and to make an extra effort to shop local this season. Mayor Bowser said the Shop in the District website allows for secure shopping at local businesses and ensures that minority and women-owned businesses have access to e-commerce opportunities. Now, the Shop in the District website provides the shoppers user-friendly guide to local retailers, each featuring a curated list of unique gifts that reflect the diverse DC community. Now, Anna, as the nation continues to confront the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, not only on people's health, but also on the economy, Shop in the District aims to help small businesses continue to thrive by highlighting local retailers. Stores and products from all wards of the district will be featured on this website. Deputy Mayor for Planning and Economic Development, John Falchaichio, says DC small and local businesses are the backbone of a local economy. Now, Mayor Bowser and WDCEP partnered with local delivery services Near.Delivery and DC2Go to launch a pilot to offer local delivery services to DC retailers and for residents. This pilot program will allow for customers to shop safely from local brick-and-mortar retailers and restaurants with the same convenience that shoppers have become accustomed to with local food delivery, with orders delivered as early as same day. Now, free training and mentorship will be provided to minority and women-owned businesses to establish and amplify their digital presence. This aims to support businesses with website development, e-commerce, platform development, and digital marketing. Now, if you are a business owner and want to be considered as a featured retailer, visit Shop in the District to learn more. Businesses will be added to the site on a rolling basis. Back to you, Anna.
Thank you, Eliza. That's exciting. I heard you say about the free training and mentorship program. If local business owners want to avail of that, what do they have to do?
Now, Anna, on the shopinthedistrict.com website, if you click on the About tab, you will see an interest form tab. Click on that and you will be taken to a page where you will fill out information about yourself and your business. Now, if you look at the retail directory, there are dozens of local shops participating now. So if you're a small business local retailer, this is a great opportunity for you. Now, if you're a shopper and want to look for an alternative way to purchase things and support local small businesses at the same time, then this website fits you. Anna?
Thank you, Eliza. That's great news for those local businesses around your area, and hopefully, messaging gets out there and more people know about it. Thank you for your report tonight.
You're welcome.
In related news, DC's neighbor, Maryland, joined in promoting local stores for small business Saturday, which was yesterday, following the annual shopping event Black Friday. In Gaithersburg, Bureau Chief Ace Ramirez is with us this evening. Ace?
Thank you, Anna. While the continental U.S. was winding down from the Thanksgiving festivities, Maryland Governor Larry Hogan was busy pushing for the welfare of small businesses in the state. Hogan encouraged Marylanders not just to celebrate, but to safely celebrate the holiday season and Small Business Saturday by supporting, of course, local mom and pop shops. With the upsurge in the coronavirus cases in the state, support to local businesses, Hogan encouraged, can be done by doing online orders or curbside pickups, or even in-person shopping, but strictly observing social distancing and wearing face masks.
Can help too. Shop online, utilize curbside pickup options, or shop in person while wearing a mask and keeping your distance. Maryland small businesses are our job creators. They're the cornerstone of our communities and the backbone of our economy.
Maryland small businesses were hit hard because of this pandemic. causing numerous establishments to, give up. Aside from the state's effort in financially aiding these businesses, Hogan emphasized the importance of the community supporting the local businesses.
But we're still encouraging Marylanders to celebrate Small Business Saturday by finding ways to safely support your local small businesses, which have been hit particularly hard during this unprecedented public health and economic crisis. Last month, we doubled our state relief investment to $500 million to fund a combination of new small business relief programs to protect jobs and to expand our existing successful programs in order to immediately provide additional, desperately needed relief to all of the businesses and their employees who are most in need.
Now, if there is a Black Friday shopping sale, there's a Small Business Saturday, which is the Saturday after Thanksgiving, also known as Shop Small Saturday, which is a nationally recognized event to promote, support, and enjoy local businesses across the U.S. Last year, an estimated $730 billion was forecasted to be spent by Americans during the holiday season. That's 20%, only 20% of the total retail spending of the year. Take your wild guess how the pandemic will affect this holiday season spending. From Gaithersburg, Maryland, Ace Ramirez, we live in interesting times.
Thank you, Ace, for your report. Wow, $730 billion. That's a huge, huge number. Of course, with the pandemic, as you've mentioned, holiday sales will be much lower this year. What's the real forecast, Ace?
That's a good guess, Anna. If you think $730 billion was a lot, and that's just 20% of the 2019 retail spending. Let's do a quick math. So the total spending for last year with a lot of zeros, that would be $3.65 trillion. Of course, I already computed that earlier. This year, surprising as it may seem, the forecast is a whooping 3.6 to 5.2 increase from last year. That means it could be between $755 billion to $766 billion for the holiday season alone. This forecast, which is from the National Retail Federation, has taken into consideration the many adjustments done to ensure the health and safety of their employees and customers. From this forecast, online and non-store sales are estimated to contribute between $202 to $218 billion. A surprising 20 to 30% increase from last year's $169 billion online and non-store sales. Anna?
Well, thank you, Ace, for your report, and thank you for joining us tonight. We'll stick around for our roundtable discussion here in a few minutes. Still on Small Business Saturday, Bureau Chief Jane Kathleen Gregorio introduces us to this bird store in Corpus Christi as it weathered the COVID storm, kept flying in the rain, and now is celebrating its new nesting grounds. Kathleen, tell us more.
Thank you, Anna, and howdy from the Lone Star States. All across the country, as Americans were encouraged to support small businesses in their community, Texas was no exception. In a video statement from Texas Governor Greg Abbott, small businesses account for 99% of all businesses here in Texas and employ millions of Texans throughout the entire state. One such local business here in Corpus Christi not only survived the pandemic, but also thrived and even held a ribbon cutting on November 20th, which was attended by City Manager Peter Zanoni, Council members Paulette Guajardo and Ben Molina, and leaders of the small business community. Today, we will meet Marcus Lozano, small business supporter and owner of Feathered Friends and Company, and discover his story of success. Let's take a look.
A broken windshield, and we went to a local glass repair shop. I guess on the receptionist desks, there was a bird cage, and I kept staring at them, and I told my dad, Dad, I really want a pair of birds. And the lady said, well, these ones here, they're for sale. So I took them home. They had babies. And before I knew it, the entire neighborhood, like all the kids that I played with, they wanted a bird. So like this light bulb went off in my head, and I'm like, all these people want birds, and I can like supply them with them. Well, before you know it, people were coming to my house and they were buying birds for me, and I was using the money that I was raising, having baby birds, to buy more birds. So by the time I was like 12 or 13 years old, I had like 15 or 20 pairs of birds in my backyard at my dad's house. And you know, it just became something that I loved doing. But it got to a point that I could no longer do it out of my house. There was too much foot traffic. So, you know, that's how I got started, really, was that I saw how many people were so excited about what it was that I was doing, and I just wanted to do it bigger and better. When I first started, my greatest challenge was the money. We started our store on June 8th, 2014, at a little old antique store on Castores. We only had $700 worth of products, and that's all I had. We spent the $700. We filled the store with what we thought was like everything that we could get, and people started coming, and people were buying products, and they were buying products, and I was using that money, and I was buying 2 of what I sold, and then 2 turned into 4, and 4 turned into 6, and 12, and you know, and it just continued to grow, and people started coming from further and further away. And I mean, here we are now in a space 3 times the size with wall-to-wall products. But the thing I say is, Feathered Friends & Company is your one-stop shop for everything birds. So we do birds, feed, seed, cages, toys, accessories. We do grooming for birds. We do boarding for birds. We do blood work for birds. One of the things that we also do is we raise babies for families. We can raise a bird specifically for your family. So say you want a macaw, right? And macaws can cost anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000. So what we do is we allow you that time in the process of where we're hand feeding the babies. So you can come and visit it during that time and make payments on it, and kind of get an idea of the personality of this new family member, because ultimately that's what I'm in the business of. I'm in the business of companionship and family members. Our 3 top birds. We sell green cheeks a lot. People love green cheeks. They're known as the quiet conure. Cockatiels are amazing family pets too. And parakeets. Everybody loves parakeets. It's like the smallest little bundle of love that you can take home. It's a great price. So green cheek conures, cockatiels, and parakeets. That's the most common bird that leaves our store. It's crazy because birds are companions and birds are family members. So during the pandemic, having a bird as a companion, I mean, some of these birds can live upwards of 80 to 90 years. So it's kind of parallel with our lives. So during the pandemic, our business increased, and I mean, it's continued to grow. We're in a new location. We have a new store. We're seeing new faces. And I mean, we're sending home companion birds every day. And one of my very good friends is Monica Marie Garcia. And I said, let's put up a mural, but let's do something that gives back to the community. So I thought, like, what if we do an interactive mural, like something with wings? And I'm like, yeah. So we ended up going with the winged mural. And we have people coming from all over, standing in front of the mural. People are coming here, we're getting noticed, and people are taking really cool pictures in front of our mural, posting it on Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook. And we have plans for so many more murals along this entire perimeter of the property. And during the pandemic, our business really took off because people wanted companionship. People wanted something to come home to or stay home with, because a lot of people weren't able to go to school, weren't able to go to work, were not able to do anything except sit at home. And, you know, thank God our business was able to stay in business, and we were a necessity because we provide family members food. So I'm going to go through a few do's and don'ts of companion birds. So do offer your companion bird fresh fruits and vegetables. They love fresh fruits and vegetables. Don't ever offer them avocados or chocolate. Those are like the two worst things that you can give to your bird. It will kill them. All right, the next do's and don'ts for companion birds is do give them enrichment. So what that means is keep them excited, switch their toys out every couple of weeks. I promise I'm not trying to sell you 100 toys, but what I'm saying is like, get 2 sets of toys, switch one set out for the other, and every week swap them back and forth and your bird will be excited over and over. And another don't is when your bird is loud and noisy, don't cover them up. That's so sad. Take them out. Give them something to have fun with. Play music for your bird. I was born and raised in Corpus Christi, and one of the things that I love so much about this town is there's such a strong group of positive individuals, I mean, in this entire town that want nothing but good for one another. So we're always lifting one another up, and it's so good to see other businesses doing well. And you know, I'm a firm believer of, and I've said this to other people, if you give to the community will give back to you. And this is a prime example. I do what I can to give to the community, and they give me their business, and they give me, you know, respect, and they give me love. I mean, we are absolutely so happy to be able to provide feathered friends and company to the Corpus Christi community.
In Corpus Christi, Texas, I'm Jane Kathleen Gregorio, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Anna.
Thank you so much, Kathleen, for that report. Well, team, we are out of time and we're not able to do our roundtable discussion, but we hope for you and all our viewers to continue to support your local businesses. And we are not ever out of time to continue to thank our healthcare workers, first responders, and essential workers with a round of applause. So team, let's join hands and clap for them. We appreciate all of you. That is today's Eagle News America. Thank you for joining us. I'm Anna Kui, and we live in interesting times.